Hello, everyone. I'm Natasha, a student here at USD, and I'm going to walk you through a syllabus. So for each class offered at USD, each professor or instructor provides you with a syllabus, which gives you information about what is going to be going on throughout the semester and give you access to important knowledge that you might need. It is very important to read through the syllabus before you go to class, as there might be knowledge that you need to know for the first day of class. So to find your syllabus for a class, you will go to your D2L homepage. You will scroll down to the specific class. So I will click on YouTube 2026. Once you are on this homepage for this shell, you can scroll down a little bit and you will see on this left-hand side, it says syllabus. For classes, instructors and professors will link their syllabus to this link, and you would be able to click on it and it'll open into a different tab and you will be able to download it. I highly suggest that you save each syllabus, as it may become important later in your academic career. Now, some professors and instructors will also place their syllabus under this content tab and label it as welcome or syllabus. So I'm going to go through an example syllabus from one of my previous classes. Now, it is redacted, as this is personal property of the instructor that taught it. So I am going to give you just a brief run through of it. Now, everyone's syllabus is going to be a little different, but there is certain things that I'm going to highlight today that is in every USD syllabus. So a syllabus normally has the course name up here. The lecturer or professor will include their contact information, their name, office hours, their lecture time. And for this class, there was a lab attached to it. So this had the lab coordinator and their email, their office. It also had a supplemental instructor or an SI tutor. The professors or instructors will list the textbooks that are needed. They will say if they're required or just suggested, or say no textbooks required at all. They do provide a brief course description. It's normally the same one that pops up in your registration self-service. They will also say what they require of your attendance and class preparation. Some classes you are required to attend class, as you get points for being there. Other classes, it's not required but highly suggested, as you will be more successful. This one gives a link to the D2L homepage. Homework, exams, it will break down the importance of doing the homework, if there's extra credit given, if there's bonus points, those kind of things. So they will also have an exam and makeup policy and quiz makeup policy, as some professors will let you make up exams. Otherwise, if you miss it, sometimes professors say you are not allowed to make it up. Now, professors will also include this part. It says criteria for grading. Now, a syllabus can change throughout the semester. However, the professor or instructor will inform you if it does change. But this is something that they are going to apply to all students. So in like the grading policy of theirs, they might say if you have an 89.6, that they will not round it, that you will be getting an 89.6, which is a B. Some professors will say, well, if you attended class and you did really well, they will round it up to a 90, which is an A. Really pay attention to that here for your professor, as if they say that they are not going to round your grade in the syllabus, there's no reason to email them at the end of the year to try to see if they will round your grade. Now, this says different little things But here is the important part of the syllabus. This is in every single syllabus at USD. It's provided by the Board of Regents and Institutional Statements. So we're going to break down each of these. This first one is freedom in learning. So this policy states that you have a right to speak your opinions. You cannot be penalized for something you believe in. This gives you a freedom of speech, freedom of rights, that kind of thing within it. This part, the ADA statement, this states that if you need any accessibility things, you can go ahead and contact the Office of Accessibility. They will help you resolve your issue. So if you feel like you need an accommodation based on like a documented disability, you can contact the Office of Accessibility during the first week of class or as soon as possible after a diagnosis. So for instance, if you have high test anxiety, if you contact and work with the Office of Accessibility, sometimes they will get you extended time on your exams. This works with anything from that to if you need a classroom on a first level floor because there is no way to get upstairs for you. This is the contact information for the Office of Accessibility. It's located here in ID Week's library on the first floor. You walk in the front doors and it's to your left. Now this policy, the academic integrity. So each professor has their own little way of dealing with people that cheat or plagiarize. Some professors will give you multiple chances. Others will say once you do it, you might be out of the class. So for instance, this one is kind of your basic one. The first time it happens, you're normally given a 0 for that assignment and you're allowed to rewrite and resubmit it for credit. However, please note that a lot of times professors do not give you the full grade. So for instance, if I plagiarize my entire paper, a professor might give me only 50% of the final grade of my rewritten paper. This then works down the line. If you do it more than once, you might be dropped from the course and failed in the course. So make sure you read this because it is very important. Now, acceptable use of technology. This talks about if you need a computer for the class so you can use lockdown browser, or if you can just use an iPad with a keyboard. It will also state that some professors do not like when you have technology in their class. So it will state that you only can have paper and pencil. The emergency alert communication talks about the Everbridge emergency alert system. If you download this app, it is linked with our UPD and it sends out information to students that if there is something going on campus for safety reasons. The grade appeal policy. So this part states that under the Board of Regents, the students have a right to appeal like course grades or dismissal from the program. So you'll have to use an appeal form. And for instance, this one is linked in this syllabus. You can also find it on the USD website. So an appeal must be initiated by you guys. So if you want to make the appeal, you get to do it. You have to also do it within 30 calendar days of being notified of the decision that is being appealed. So if your final grade comes out on the 18th of December and you're not happy with it, you need to complete that within 30 days. Now, statement on recording of lectures by students. A lot of professors and lecturers do not approve of you recording lectures just because that is their private property and it can be seen as copyright infringement. So please make sure to read this part so that if you do record it, make sure it is approved by your lecturer or professor first. So student success services and supports. This talks about the USD Opportunity Center, which is made specifically for student success. It's located in the MUC. You can find more resources in Kyle One Stop. Now, the concern and complaint resolution process. So this just talks about if you have any concerns, complaints, or questions, how to go about that. So this one says you can contact the department chair or the dean or the associate dean, and they will have their name and contact information there. Now, Zoom usage and classroom attendance. So this states that it goes back over if you need to be in attendance. Also, it says when Zoom will be made available. So some professors and instructors Zoom every class attendance. So if you are sick, it'll be recorded for you. However, other professors will just ask you to get notes from a fellow classmate as they do not record them. And if you are a student with a disability who wishes to request an accommodation relating to the attendance or Zoom usage, please contact the Office of Accessibility. Here is a big one at USD, especially with our changing world, use of artificial intelligence tools in courses. So the use of AI. Each professor has a different requirement for using AI. Some professors absolutely do not want you to use it for writing anything or checking your grammar or anything like that. They do not want AI. Other professors will have you use AI to come up with different things and kind of show you and use it for assignments. Other ones, like this syllabus, says that you can use AI to deepen and broaden course content. So this one says you can use these specific ones. But up here, it says it's strictly prohibited. So if you are caught using, for instance, ChatGPT and the professor or instructor in their syllabus said that it is strictly prohibited, you will get in trouble for that. So make sure to read this portion of the syllabus as it is a little different for each professor or instructor. Finally, on the syllabus, they'll have the course goals and a tentative lecture schedule. That lecture schedule will tell you when assignments are due or what chapters you're working on, when exams are, that kind of thing. So you get a full schedule of the entire semester. Now, as I said earlier, each syllabus is different per the professor or instructor's request. And I'm going to stress this again. Please read your syllabus beforehand. Sometimes on the first day of class, your instructor will have a pop syllabus quiz or they will give you an incentive for reading it. One professor I had said that if you said a specific word when you walked in the room, you got a cookie. It's just up to the professor. But guys, that's all I've got for you today. So good luck on this semester and go Yotes.